What do you think the biggest challenge facing the Hoosier State is right now, and how can it be addressed?
Well, I think really at this point, the economic crisis that we are in is the biggest challenge that we have to face. And one of the reasons I believe that is because back in 2008, when we had an economic crisis, it took us a little over 4 years to really rebound from that. I believe this economic crisis is much deeper and broader than 2008, and therefore will take us a much longer period of time from which to rebound. And so we really need to pay close attention to, are we doing the necessary things to open up the free market and maximize people's options for improving their own economic position?
That's something that, again, I would say that this was true before COVID-19, and it's certainly true or accented today. And that's the skilling up the workforce in the state of Indiana. Again, this was happening this was a global issue, talent supply. And here in Indiana, we're fortunate because we're devoting the resources to help skill up our workforce, and the programs that we have, nextleveljobs.org, are working for thousands of Hoosiers that are taking advantage of this program, whether you're an employer or an employee or someone wishing to skill up and get a credential or a certificate and double or triple your salary. And I would say it's just so important because, to put this in context, in 2016, our Indiana Economic Development Corporation brought in just over 20,000 new job commitments to the state of Indiana. Already this year, and we've got 2.5 months to go, obviously, we've already brought in 25,000 new job commitments to the state of Indiana. And they're an average wage of $27.65. So they're good jobs or careers. And that's in addition to, if you go on Indiana Career Connector, you can see the 109 unfilled jobs throughout the state of Indiana, whether it's in Terre Haute or Batesville or Roanoke or Indianapolis or Jeffersonville. You can look all over the state of Indiana, see what jobs are unfilled. So the trick is, how do we skill people up to fill those jobs so they get to determine their destiny? And obviously with this pandemic now going forward, we've seen the have-nots, stall. And what we do see, though, is proof positive. When they get connected to a program like Next Level Jobs and they get that certificate, their testimonial is powerful because they say it's never too late, and I'm so happy I got their certificates to go into nursing. I was 50 plus years old and thought it was over. Wrong. I got my certificate and credential, and now I know where to get my next one and my next one and my next one. So the state of Indiana will pay 100% of that. The state will put the skin in the game if the person will put their time in, and the employers are craving that.
It's a twin challenge. I mean, if you think about it just from a state perspective, our management of COVID-19 and our dealing with K through 12, I think, are kind of tied. We've said that we've got to change the way that we allocate testing resources in Indiana. Let's put more testing resources in the places where we have more patients with COVID. That means that we increase the testing that's going on in our nursing homes. Nursing home patients aren't sneaking out in the middle of the night going to bars and hanging out with their friends at Pizza Hut or any of the various local establishments. But some of the people that come in to take care of them do bring the virus in. And that means that we have to do a lot more testing of people that are coming in to care for our patients in congregate care facilities, not just nursing homes, but in other settings where folks have limited access and limited mobility, including prisons and jails. It's not as if the prisoners are hanging out at the local gas station or the local bar. Somebody's bringing the virus into them, and that means that we are not doing the right kind of testing. We are not doing the right kind of monitoring, and in the Myers-Lawson administration, that's going to change. But it's also affected, as we have talked about a little earlier, the way school is done today, because you and I know that it's always best to have the teacher right there, and little Johnny and little Mary are having the teacher put her hand or his hand on the shoulder and say, hey, look, that's not the way you solve that math problem, or good job, or all those things that you and I remember that happened to us when we were in elementary school. I want that, but right now it's just not safe. We are in a global pandemic, and we have to push the pause button on in-school type activities until we can do them more safely than we can do them now. And that means that we have to get hardware and software for the school systems that still need upgrades of their technologies, and we have to make sure that every kid has access to the tools that they need at home or wherever they're going to get their educational services. And then they've got to have, again, the broadband and the internet. And also for our teachers in the state, we've got to change the way we pay them. I mean, we're losing teachers. Terre Haute's losing teachers to Illinois, and Indiana, the southern part of the state's losing teachers to Kentucky, and up north they're losing them to Ohio and to Michigan. That's got to change, and the major reason is that we're just not paying our teachers in Indiana enough. Last I looked, there were almost 1,000 vacancies for teachers in our state. You know, if things were working well, I don't think Superintendent of Public Instruction Jennifer McCormick would have endorsed the Myers-Lawson campaign instead of the campaign of the guy that down the hall from her today, who's been in office now for 4 years. She's seen the problems up close and personally, and she cares about our state deeply. So she wants the Myers-Lawson team to take over and to manage them very differently, and to bring back the priority for funding of K through 12 education to the state of Indiana. It's got to be the issue that captures the attention of all of us, because it's the future of our state. You know, teachers don't teach children. That's not how I see their job. Teachers prepare the future for Indiana, because it's the work that they're doing today that's going to make us a successful state down the road. And I just know that we need to invest, and we're not investing enough in Indiana teachers, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to fix that, because I just know it's too important. I'm an Indianapolis public school graduate, and I had a great opportunity to use what I learned in IPS to go on to college at Stanford and medical school at Harvard and back to do my internship and residency. That's because IPS prepared me well, and I want all of the public schools to get their kids in a position where they can access the best opportunities that their minds allow them to achieve. That's what I want for Indiana schools. And if the voters give me a new job in about 4 weeks, that's what we'll do.